Good morning. My name is General Secretary Patience from the new Afrikan Black Panther Party, NABPP. This is NABPP News in 10. In today's episode, we're going to discuss last week's Newark School Board meeting. A lot of issues were addressed, but this particular matter has to do with our third graders failing the state's reading exam. You're going to hear from Denise Cole. She's a longtime community activist. She's going to discuss how the school board has failed our children. So let's listen.
I'm glad Eldorian is leaving. I don't know who's going to take her position, but I am very glad she's leaving because you're not losing a good one. Because while she sit on the I'm getting ready to give you some facts. While she sit on our program and instruction committee, not one child in this, I take that back, one elementary school child in this district passed the math and reading on the state exam. One. Only one child in the elementary district. All our children failed the math and reading, and charters don't look all that great because y'all did worse than the public schools in the math and reading. But we sit up here talking about children on honor rolls. Can your children read, really? They honorable mention, can your children read, really? Like, I'm trying to understand where's the logic in what we doing in this community, black and brown? If our children fell in reading and math on the state exam, but they're getting honorable mentions and honor rolls, there's a problem. We get one kid that should be on the honor roll, the only one in the East Ward that passed the math and reading. He should be the only one honorable mentioning on the honor roll. Everybody else should be progressing to something, but they ain't passing and being progressive. But this is you all. It is, yes it is, because she get to do on program, no ma'am, on program and instruction, she gets to say what books and curriculum we are using. Oh yes, she sits as the chairperson there. So she take this failure with you. I'm not sitting up here giving you accolades when my children, the majority of my children in the Newark Public School District is not passing in math and reading. I'm telling you now, yes, I sound like I'm passionate because I know my fact.
So as you can see, Dorian Murray Thomas, she sits on the school board. She was the chair of program instruction. And as Denise points out, she's responsible or the lead person for what our children learn, how they learn, what resources will be used for them to learn. And Dorian, she's with the help of her mother, Dana Murray, has been moving up the political ladder. And this is how it started. This is how we get the Obamas, the Kamala Harris, the Ketanji Browns, these Black faces in high places. They start very young. This is not, oh, she just came out of nowhere. No, they prepare these young people to become the new Ras Baraka that claims to be working for the people, that have the people best interests in heart, but in all reality they don't. So we're gonna move on to a board member. Her name is Crystal Williams. She's gonna talk a little bit more about the third graders not being able to read and bring us some similar issues. She also has a gripe with the board, which is kind of interesting because she actually sits on the board. But she also reveals a little tidbit, which I will speak on after we listen to her speak. So here we go.
Whether we like the article or not, it's not a false article. And so here's my problem. Which school do I send my children to? The one that scored 50%, where 16 students took the test and only 8 passed in 177 days? Or do I send them to the school where 126 students took the test and 53 passed? Do I send them to a school that had 4 students out of 97 pass, or 1 out of 50 pass, or the one that's closest to me, 1 out of 53? If people can clap their hands like this is the greatest stuff on earth. You made a comment that enrollment is increasing, but so are most school districts in the Northeast because of the migration. So what are we really saying? I really don't understand it. President Council, like Shabazz is in your ward. How do I send my child to a school with no math teacher for 4 months? And I'm supposed to get up and be committed to going there. I'm supposed to tell people, no, send your kid to Shabazz, but there's no teacher in the class. That's a problem. And then we have people that come speak and say that you are the problem because you're the board, the chair of the committee. But in the committee meetings, we get information about what's going to be done. This is what we're doing. It's not us making the decision. It's what we're being told is being done. And so if you know better, you do better, right? The onus doesn't fall on a Dorian for program and instruction. It falls on whoever the chair of program and instruction was and the superintendent, our only employee.
Board Member Williams, can you address your comments to the superintendent, please?
Because at the end of the day, you are our only employee. And at my job, when I don't do my job, I get sanctioned. And all I'm telling you is when after school all-stars program at Camden Street School, those little kids get out of school at 2:40 and they don't even get a meal, but I'm getting an email saying that they do get snacks. No, that's the Excel program, because after school all-stars, we send the kids to the after school program and they don't even eat. It is unacceptable. It's unacceptable that Newark Mentor, they got their budget cut, but we have 1.3. I don't understand it, and I'm a little angry, and I'm gonna calm down. But as a parent that pays a lot of taxes to live here, there's not service. We cannot keep catching flights like, oh, okay, we're gonna go here and learn, when the kids here at Camden Street School, 5 blocks from my house, are not eating after school program. And the math teacher is not in Shabazz, because I heard her say that 50 times, and that's unacceptable. But we did a whole personnel committee report. We should applaud 87 people, not 87 vacancies. One of them is a math teacher in Shabazz, and we need kids to pass math. I'm done.
She's angry. How you think so many parents feel if she's angry, if she sits on the board? So she said a lot. She exposed a lot if you pay attention. One, our kids are failing reading and math. We don't have math teachers. And apparently it seems like we don't have reading teachers, or the reading teachers we do have, there's a disconnect there. 2, she says Adorian is not to blame, even though she's the chair, because in these committees, they make no decisions. The decisions are already made for them. They're just, here, this is what you got to do. And from what I'm hearing, these decisions are made by Leon, the superintendent. So my thing is, what is the point of voting for these people to be put on these seats if they have no power? It seems this is the same thing we were going through when the state had control. They were just advisory board. It was just there to, I don't know, sit there, look pretty, appease the parents, the students that come up there to air out their grievances. Like somebody needs to make this make sense to me, because I always hear somebody like Denise Nicole. We don't agree principally on ideology, on strategy, but I do applaud her for the fight, and she continues to fight and try to bring accountability to the people on the board. But as you can see, there's no way to hold these people accountable. The superintendent does what he wants. The board, according to board member Crystal, they have no say. They are giving directives and they follow through. So again, why is it a need to vote for these people? And I'm going off on a tangent, but this will be addressed during the week. There will be more videos. There is a push to have 16-year-olds to vote on these school boards. So you can't get their parents to come vote for you. So now you're targeting the kids. You don't provide civics class. You don't educate these children on how their government work or what control they have over these decisions, which is apparently none, because again, as Crystal iterated, they are brought decisions, not decisions, they are told what is going to be done and they go along with it. So what is the point of voting? What is the point of getting 16-year-olds to vote for you just to do what the superintendent wants you to do, even though it's against the interests of the students and of the parents? So now we're going to hear Superintendent Leon's response, which to me is not any response, just a bunch of gaslighting and not taking accountability. Here we go.
Ms. Williams, this board here is very much committed to meeting and addressing the needs of the children that attend the schools governed by the Newark Board of Education. And we openly and honestly share in the public the student achievement, attendance, suspension rates. We do that of our students. And so we can't compare ourselves to anybody else in Newark because no one else does that. The fact that we don't have that information, is not something that I control, but I would definitely love to be able to control it. As it relates to kids going to a school that is closest to their house, well, we know that people in the South Ward were denied that opportunity. There are students that lived on Keir Avenue and wanted to go to Weequahic High School. The fact that you don't want your child at Weequahic High School, the fact that you don't want your little ones at any of our elementary schools is your own personal decision. You have the right as a resident in this city to decide, and as a mom and as a parent, to have your children attend any school that they want to, whether it's here, a district school, a charter school, a private school, or outside of the city of Newark. People who live in Newark, who have children in the district schools, in charter schools, in public school, in private schools, and in parochial schools, as well as in schools outside of the city of Newark. But unfortunately, what happened in this city was that schools were closed so that children who went to Maple Avenue School were not able to choose Maple Avenue School. Students who went to Burgaw can't choose to go to Burgaw. Students that were at MLK can't choose to go to MLK, not because they didn't want to go to those schools, but because those schools were closed and sold to the cheapest bidder. 18th Avenue is a school where kids were very happy with one of our most incredible principals, Barbara Evans, but they can't go to that school because that school was closed. They can't go to Miller Street School because that school was sold. They can't go to Warren Street School because that school was sold. They can't go to Burnett Street School because that school was sold. My point is very simple. The people in Newark have the right to have their children attend any school they want. And all of those schools were not only enrolled, but they were performing. So the reality of today and the past are not just mere years. It was an intentional strategy to destroy the school system to meet a need that had nothing to do with educating the public or democracy in the United States of America. As it relates to Shabazz High School, The fact that there isn't a math teacher there is everyone's concern, including the superintendent. And, you know, while the board has the responsibility of judging me as their only employee, the residents choose who sits on this board.
So, as you can see, a lot of gaslighting, not answering the questions, a little bit of I would say pettiness towards school board member Williams. When he talks about all the schools that he mentioned that were sold to the lowest bidder, if you look at those schools, most of those schools are now charter schools. Which is interesting because Adorian, I don't know if she still does, but she sat on the board of a charter school foundation, which I thought, I don't know if problematic, if not conflict of interest, that you get to sit on the board of public school. She went to a charter school. Her mother heavily involved in the charter school. The 18th Avenue school that they mentioned, Cassandra, another community activist, points out that Dana Murray, Adorian's Murray mother, was instrumental in getting 18th Avenue School to be turned over to a charter school. I guess I got to say allegedly because I haven't researched that, and this was mentioned during school board meeting last week. So I say all this to say that these people, these institutions are designed to fail the people. How do we have a public school board where anybody can be, any board member could be, have 1 foot in the charter schools section and 1 foot in the public school section and advocate for our students? Because at the end of the day, they're always going to fight for their charter school as opposed to fighting for the public school. And right now, they're trying to get Tommy Luna, another charter school employee, advocate, or whatever you may call, on the board. That vote failed. So I don't know who's that good for, who's that. Either way, at the end of the day, our kids still can't read. Regardless whether we have charter school board members on our board, public school board members on our board, parents on our board, students on our board, at the end of the day, the board is failing our kids. And nobody is being held accountable. He mentions all these schools that were sold to the lowest bidder, yet he failed to mention that Newark Public School transferred, sold, or whatever transaction they made between the Newark Housing Authority and the city of Newark, sold properties, gave away properties so they could build Cop City. In 2020, Dorian was one of the members, and so is Asia Norton. And I mention those two because after they do their damage, they get to move on. Dorian's going to be district commissioner, I believe, and Asia Norton is currently working for a judge. So then they get to move on to other institutions so they could do more damage. They voted on yes, transferring these properties that is now going to be Cop City. Dawn and Adorian in December 2020 voted yes on properties to be transferred, sold, or whatever you want to call it, so they could build Cop City. So yes, you can vote the Black faces, put them in these places. It's not going to change because they work for a system that is designed to oppress and destroy us. Once we understand that, we'll know how to fight back. These people are no good. They prove it time and time and again. I don't care about Black girl magic. I don't care about pearls and Converses. I don't care about the first Black female anything or Black excellence anything. Because at the end of the day, they still do the work of the oppressor. It's called neocolonialism. If that was Trump up there, if that was Biden, if that was any other white person up there, y'all would be raising hell. But because it's a Dorian, young Black woman moving up, she got a nonprofit called She Wins. She get a bunch of young students to come and praise her while she sits there as the chair of program and instruction while our kids are failing. And it's not her fault because decisions are already made and they just bring it to her and she signs off on it. Then why did you require a vote? Why did you waste people's time to go up there and vote for you? Not just the whole school board member. If you're just going to say yes to anything that Leon says or the mayor says, because it's the mayor's team that's up there. Every school board, it's the mayor slate that gets up there. And then for Leon to be mad that buildings, our school properties were sold for cheap, yet say nothing when he gives away property to build Cop City. The audacity, the hypocrisy. It's crazy. So I don't know if this is in 10 minutes, but this is NABPP News in 10. See you next time. All power to the people.